searching for evidence at a home in Blackstone, Massachusetts at this hour after the remains of 3 babies were found in the home yesterday.
In Connecticut, firefighters battled a massive fire at a perfume factory last night as they dealt with intense heat and explosions.
The convicted killer of 3 high school students in Chardon, Ohio, has been recaptured after he escaped from prison last night. In a moment, we'll bring you details on those news items and the rest of the day's news this Friday morning, September the 12th. Right now, though, welcome to the land of the barely awake if you're just now joining us in it. Thank you, Molly. It's 6:32 in the morning. Just a few hours ago in South Africa, a judge found former Olympian Oscar Pistorius guilty of the lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter. Yesterday, that judge cleared the 27-year-old Pistorius of murder and premeditated murder charges. She said the state failed to prove that he intended to kill his girlfriend, model Reva Steenkamp. The judge also found Pistorius guilty of a weapons charge involving a shooting at a restaurant, but he was found not guilty of shooting a gun through a car's sunroof and illegal possession of ammunition at his house. Under the South African judicial system, it's not over yet. It could take weeks for him to be sentenced. He faces up to 15 years in prison.
Our other top story this morning is out of Blackstone, Massachusetts. That's where a gruesome discovery was made at a house that's been described as a house of squalor.
The bodies of 3 infants were discovered in the home late yesterday by detectives and hazmat crews. Susie Steimel is on the scene this morning with today's developments. Susie?
Well, Frank and Barbara, police, as you can see, are still outside the home here in Blackstone, Massachusetts, and the house outside of the door says it all. There's red tape on the door letting people know that this place has been condemned after the bodies of 3 infants were found inside this home. It all started about 2 weeks ago when one of the 4 kids living inside this home ran to a neighbor's house for help. The neighbor called police, and when police showed up, they found a 6-month-old kid covered in feces, living in deplorable conditions. The house had mice, rats, bugs, flies, and heaps of dirty diapers several feet high around the home. Police and hazmat teams set up tents outside of this home and wore head-to-toe protective gear as they came in and out of this house during their investigation. It was last night that police made that gruesome discovery of the 3 bodies of the infants inside this home. Autopsies should reveal more about what happened to these babies and the nature of their death.
We have to ascertain who was in the house, who was living at the house, what was the time and cause of death, who was in the house. When we ascertain the time of death, we don't know yet who was living in the house at the time of death.
Police have yet to file homicide charges in regards to the deaths of those 3 infants, but we do know that 31-year-old Erica Murray is due in Uxbridge Court this morning. She's facing witness intimidation charges in regards to what happened inside this home. Live in Blackstone, Susie Steimel, NBC 10 News.
Police are investigating a fatal motorcycle crash that occurred in Cranston last night on Route 37 near Natick Avenue. Cranston police say the crash occurred between the motorcycle and another vehicle just before 10 o'clock last night. Police haven't released the victim's name. They're waiting to first notify the next of kin.
In Connecticut, firefighters battled a huge fire at a perfume factory in Bridgeport last night. It is now under control. The fire was first reported just before 7 o'clock last night and was still burning hours later. Fire officials say the building houses a roofing company and a recycled perfume factory. Part of the building exploded at one point. Officials say that was due to a broken gas line. There were no serious injuries, but 2 firefighters were taken to a hospital for heat-related illnesses. All the employees had left for the day by the time that fire broke out. 9 nearby homes were evacuated as a precaution. Residents are staying at a nearby church, and about 1,500 homes were left without power. That power was shut off as a precaution.
Providence police are investigating after one person was shot in the leg late last night. The incident happened around 11 p.m. at 166 Camp Street. According to Providence Police Lieutenant Donnelly, one person was taken to Rhode Island Hospital. No word on that person's condition or whether anyone is in custody.
The convicted killer of 3 students at a high school cafeteria in Chardon, Ohio, escaped from prison last night, but after a search, he is now back in custody. Police say 19-year-old TJ Lane escaped from a prison in Lima, Ohio, after he scaled a fence with 2 other inmates. He was found about 100 yards away and was brought back to prison without incident. Lane pleaded guilty last year to shooting 3 students in February of 2012 at Chardon High School. He was given 3 life sentences.
It appears Baltimore Ravens running back Ray Rice confessed to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell 2 months ago after he assaulted his then-fiancée. ESPN's Outside the Lines reports that Rice told Goodell on June 16th that he punched his then-fiancée in the casino elevator. This information directly contradicts what Goodell has said. Earlier this week, the commissioner said he did not know what happened inside that elevator until he watched the TMZ Sports video Monday morning. The Associated Press has reported, though, that a copy of the elevator video was sent by a law enforcement official to an unnamed NFL executive last April. Time now 23 minutes before 7 o'clock. In a moment, more about the experimental treatment a Massachusetts doctor received with the help of one of his colleagues.
And we'll tell you how a new proposal for the Newport Grand could actually save jobs.
And on how that funeral home in Providence that's been receiving so much publicity lately was receiving taxpayer dollars, even after it was shut down by health officials.
Closed captioning on NBC 10 is brought to you by Cardi's Furniture. Nairobi offers same-day mattress eye delivery 7 days a week.